Hi, my name is Curt Kempton, and I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce you to ResponsiBid and show you a pretty high overview at a pretty rapid pace of everything that ResponsiBid does. Now, I think there's definitely some misconceptions about what ResponsiBid is and what it isn't, and I'm hoping that today I can take the time to show you a bit of that so that you'll understand how ResponsiBid actually works and what it will actually do in your business. So with that all said, I'd like to just kind of introduce you. This is the page you would be taken to when you log in. As you can see, this is a test account, and we can see there's already been quite a bit of data. We can actually see in the most recent bids that there's quite a bit of stuff already there. So that all said, when you first open up your account, of course, it's going to be completely empty as far as bids go, even though we help you with a lot of the customization settings. We set some stuff to default so that you'll have an idea of what you're going to get and what you're not. So this data is going to help me to illustrate for you how ResponsiBid works, because what it's going to do is show you how it's a centralization process of all of your bids. When you have people giving bids over the phone out in the field, maybe you're personally giving out bids, the tendency is to lose a lot of bids. Here you can see that every bid that's come through our company and this test company is showing up as being either open or pending, and then there's also scheduled, closed, declined, visit for bid, anonymous, and you can actually set up even custom statuses. But this will allow you to see everybody who's been given a quote. And what's really valuable about that is that a lot of, and when I had a company cleaning windows, our guys would sometimes do bids and actually forget or lose the bid somewhere between the field and the office wouldn't be up to date on everything that was available or going on. So ResponsiBid is going to make it so that the instant any bid is given, everybody has access to either modify it or read it or do whatever they need to do with it, and then ResponsiBid is actually going to do a lot of its own automation to make sure that everything's taken care of. So with that all said, let me start out by doing a bid from the call screen. Now, the call screen is where, once you've set up your account and it's got all of your information in it, what services you offer and so on, this is where an employee, either in the office or in the field, could give a quote. Now, you can pull an old customer up into the call screen, or you can start fresh. And in this case, I'm actually just going to start fresh. So I'm going to do a bid for John Doe. And you'll see that a lot of this stuff is actually required. But in the call screen, it's only required if I need it. For example, I'm going to go do a visit for bid. If I'm going to mark this person as visit for bid, the only thing I really need to know is their first name and where they live so I can get there. If I'm going to do an anonymous bid, then I could just do it without the name, but I do always need to know what city to say someone is in. So I'm doing that. I want to point out one other thing, and that is that as I put in John Doe, I actually could autofill or just go directly to. So call screen is great for someone on the phone taking phone calls, and be able to go directly to customer profiles or modify a bid right on the fly. For the sake of entry, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly do an autofill of this John Doe. And you can see that this one lives at Beverly Hills, and there's the phone number. It's obviously fake. We know how they heard about us. This is a residential project with 2 stories. Does not have a basement. We do need to choose a house size just for the sake of having it. So let's say they live in a large house. I'm going to click continue. And at this point, this customer's already gotten quotes for window cleaning and house washing. I'm going to go ahead and just add one other thing, and that's carpet cleaning. And then I'm going to actually add a second thing, which is custom items, so I can show you a couple neat features. Of course, these are all existing modules, and this is a module that will allow you to infinitely customize it. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And in this case, we can see that we already have some data entered into this quote because this was an existing bid. I'm going to go ahead and just modify it just for number's sake and say they have 50 of those and 50 of these and 25 of those. Totally just being rough. But at this point, the point I want to point out is that an employee doesn't need to really do any math. They just need to know the specifications of the house, whether the customer gives it to them over the phone, and whether they opt to do a rough quote just based off of square footage and number of stories, or whether they stick with the exact quote. Either way, we have the information that we need that doesn't involve a calculator or calculations in general, and it doesn't really allow any special knowledge of pricing. So just keep that in mind. House wash, again, this one was already existing, so it already chose vinyl siding, but this is what is the exterior of your house. You can customize as many different exteriors as you need. And now we added carpet cleaning, so there's nothing here yet. You can use one or both of these options. You could do a square footage type quote where the person just selects the name of the room and then tells you how many feet by how many feet. Or if you're the type of person who just does number of rooms, you can customize as many styles of rooms as you would like, and then they would just tell you how many they have. So maybe I have a few small rooms. Maybe these are bedrooms, and I've got 5 of those. And maybe I want to get a couple large rooms, which would be maybe like some big living areas done, and that's carpet cleaning. Of course, there was a tile cleaning module as well, and then this will add either upcharges or just collect information or even discounts based on whatever criteria you set for this. So I'm going to say that I'm just going to say I have some heavy furniture to move. All right, now in the custom module, this is an area where you can either use anything that existed before. So maybe they have an awning that needs cleaning, and this is pretty much the exact same disclaimer and description that we used for awning cleaning last time, but let's just say this is a smaller awning and will require a little less work. And we're just going to kind of continue on the package items. We have a basic and a deluxe option for package cleaning for awnings, but let's say that we also have a new item we want to add, and let's call that kitchen cleaning. As you can probably tell, is it customized here? You can do whatever you want. ResponsiBid doesn't particularly care what it is, as long as you're defining how to describe it and the pricing. Now in this case, you already saw me do a package item, which allows you kind of a good, better, best option. But in the case of kitchen cleaning, I'm just going to call it, we're just going to do dishwashing for a specific customer. Again, this is just for an example. And I'm going to say quantity 1. You know, you could do multiple quantities, but in this case it just makes sense to do one quantity. Let's say I'll do that for $85. Now, there's a generic disclaimer, but you can actually customize this again as you see fit for this particular thing. And next time when someone pulls it up, it will use that customized disclaimer, so you can see why awning cleaning, I was able to bid it so fast because I didn't have to write a disclaimer for it. It was already there. Well, we could customize the kitchen one and do the same thing. These notes are only visible to you as a company, so you know, you say this customer is very picky. Please get their approval before leaving. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Get the Bid. Now, we have this feature turned on that basically just makes sure that the person gives us permission to send email follow-ups to them. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, just to go ahead and do that. But now what's going to happen is it's going to calculate all the prices. It's going to give those prices in terms of hopefully good, better, and best options. And it's also going to be comparing against city minimums. So if there is a city minimum, it will compare it against that. And it's going to do all sorts of other mathematics to make sure that's done right. So keep in mind that even though it runs a little bit slow to get the proposal built, that's a very important part of making sure that all the I's are getting dotted and the T's are getting crossed, and that the customer is getting the follow-up set up or whatever it is that I'll show you in a little bit. But there's a lot going on at the time of calculation, and that's whether someone's in the field or whether somebody is in the office. Just remember, too, those calculations are done on our server, so it's not using any extra data for you. Okay, so you can see that the proposal kicked out for window cleaning was premium, deluxe, and basic options. And you can see that in the basic package, we have exterior windows cleaned, screens brushed, and some insurance protection. Now, in the deluxe package, we add extra value. We do the windows inside and out, the screens get an additional wet method clean, and the tracks get cleaned as well. And in the premium package, we add a screen sealant, windows wiped clean, and an actual house wash, plus a 3-day rain day guarantee. Now, you can set up your packages however you choose, but it's just important that you understand that what we're doing here is presenting a perfect proposal. And the reason is that anybody is able to give the bid within the company, whether over the phone or in person. But the cool thing is that they give the customer 3 different options, which gives the customer context. And that's a really important part of what the software does, because it helps the person who's getting that quote to fully understand what their prices are going to get them, whereas normally they'd have to call a competitor to get that kind of context. So typically a 3 pricing tiered option is a huge upgrade for people, because even though my guys out in the field may not necessarily be great salesmen, they can close a whole lot more jobs when they provide that kind of context for a customer. You can see that we have a skylight add-on here. We got carpet cleaning, which also comes in a few different, this is a more simplistic package. You can make them more complicated if you choose, but you can see here's hot water extraction, carpet protection for easier spot cleaning, and then some sanitization and deodorization, however you like to lay out your service levels. House washing, you can see that we do 3 options there as well. But remember kitchen cleaning, when we did that as just a singular item, so it's laid out a little bit different. And then awning cleaning was also a package option, but in this case we only gave them 2 packages to choose from. So very flexible, very powerful. It even gives the person who's giving the bid or the customer the ability to just hit a button and actually indicate that they're ready to schedule, which is very important also in a proposal, to allow to give that person some ability to move forward with the company they're dealing with. So there's the proposal. That perfect quote presentation alone has added a huge amount of selling power to our companies that we've used it with, because that context is so powerful. Now, once you've entered someone in through the call screen, you've gotten the proposal, you can go to their profile, and you can see that everything in their profile is all laid out. And you could even, if you're on your phone, you can click there and call them, or you can click here and email them. On a computer, if you have Skype hooked up, you can actually use Skype to call and that email to actually email out through your email client. You can always access the proposal from their customer profile. In fact, let me just real quick, I'm going to take you to the most recent activity, and you'll see here. Oh, I just realized I didn't change the status, so that's why. Let me just go back real quick here. So when I take this person and get them a bid like I did, this person now has the ability, we can look at the most recently done proposal and view it, but we'll also always have access to the original proposal, which will show the original pricing. The customer will not have access to this, but if they remember it for whatever reason, you can go take a look, and then you can see what the last recalculation was, and you'll be able to look in and see, well, you originally said you had 12 regular panes, that's the original value, but you actually had 50, and that's why the price changed. So customer profile is a really neat place to be able to go in and check stuff out, but also you'll notice that we have the status of open. An open bid means that the person got a quote but never actually completed the quote or did anything with it. So you can see that because they had already completed the open sequence and I ran them through the call screen, it just restarted that sequence. So we've already sent an email letting the customer know what's going on and all of that. But we also have scheduled some emails to go in the future to continue to follow up with them using our follow-up builder. Well, if I go ahead and change this customer to a scheduled customer, I can tell ResponsiBid which package was chosen. So the window cleaning deluxe, maybe they chose a basic house wash to go along with that, a basic carpet cleaning, and maybe they didn't decide to do anything about the kitchen cleaning, but they're going to go ahead and have the basic awning cleaning done as well. To be able to choose a date and select, maybe they want to go then, and an arrival time. So maybe you'll arrive between 10:30 a.m. and we have an automatic 2-hour window, but I'm going to say maybe that we can arrive between 10:30 and 11:30, so a 1-hour window. When I click book it, it's important you understand that ResponsiBid is not a scheduling software, so it's not going to actually put it into a calendar anywhere at this point in ResponsiBid. But what it is going to do is be able to use that information for great follow-up emails to that particular customer. And when it does this, basically what it's doing is it's doing a bunch of calculations to tell you how much the job that you booked was, when it's for, and then you can also see that in the follow-up, we actually are going to send out an email in a few minutes giving them the details of their job, and then we're going to send them another one the day before confirming that job. And just if you want to take a peek at it, you can click on the scheduled button. It'll actually quickly build up the email, tell you when it's going to go out, who it's going to go out from, what it's going to say, which services. It's going to fill in the date and time, so the date that you're going to show up will pop in there, the time will show up here, and then the services that you're going to do are going to all show up there. So all of that's filled in. I could stop the step if I choose. I could change the date and time that this is going to run if I wanted to. I could trigger it now, or I can just cancel, which is what I'm going to do. So that all said, that is the super powerful follow-up builder that will do a bunch of stuff for your office, whether it's following up with a person trying to get a bid to go through, or whether it's confirming a job beforehand. Or the other neat thing is that as soon as the date goes from 10/28 to October 29th, it will actually flip itself to closed. And when that happens, it'll happen at midnight. It will stop the sequence and start the other follow-up, which might be a couple days later. You ask for some referrals or testimonials. Might be 3 months later asking for more work, or whatever it is that you set up. It's awesome. And it will just string out the emails that are scheduled to go for you to keep that follow-up. And that perfect follow-up is a huge part of staying in touch with your customer and making sure that nobody ever slips through the cracks. That's the biggest thing. Everybody spends so much money on marketing, and then they lose their customers just because it's impossible to keep up with all of them. So what ResponsiBid's doing is essentially everything that you should be doing, especially from a follow-up standpoint, but actually from a reporting standpoint and everything else, but nobody has time to track. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we already know about the follow-up, and that's really awesome and cool. But here's another neat thing that ResponsiBid does, is it shows you graphically over the last year how many bids you did per week, and how many, that line represents how many you've closed over the course of that week, which is really awesome because it's going to tell you seasonality of your business and also how well you're doing at closing work. The other cool thing is it'll show you where your leads are all coming from. So you can see that in this case, Google is 40% and Angie's List. You can kind of learn about who's sending you a bunch of leads. You can look at your close rate and see how you compare to the national average of all the other ResponsiBid companies, but even be able to check out and see how Yahoo is doing for you, or Angie's. It'll rank your top 10 lead sources as to how you're doing at closing them. So you can see that obviously for some reason Yahoo, we're able to close considerably more than somewhere else. And that's really good when you're trying to figure out how much money to spend on getting work. So if Yelp wants you to spend money with them, you can just simply look at Yelp and say, well, you gave me 4 leads, which is nice, but it was only 2% of all the closed leads that we did, and we only got a 50% close rate with you guys. Of course, the average ticket price was $528, but over the course of the last 12 months, we've only booked $1,000 of work for you guys. So that's not that valuable to us. We're not going to give you guys $1,500 to advertise for the year if that's all you're bringing in. So that's an important thing. The other thing you can look at is actually ticket prices. So you can see, for example, sales agents. We got 10 leads from sales agents. We're only able to close 30% of them, but our average ticket price was $859, and we booked $2,500 worth of work from real estate agents. So that's a really valuable place for us. So we can see how valuable. We're not closing a high percentage of them, but we are making a lot of money. So that might be another way to slice your information to really get an idea of how it's going for you. And then, of course, to be able to see all of your services that you offer and see how it compares throughout, which services are really bringing in the money. And once you understand that about your business, it might help you with your marketing and to understand what parts are more profitable than others. So that's a really, really incredible thing to be able to know how to spend your advertising dollars and how to understand your business in a way that you probably wouldn't have ever understood before. Another thing I want to show you is that not only does ResponsiBid work really well for your company, but actually you can install it right on your website. So here's a picture of my window cleaning company. You can see that we have a homepage just like anybody else, but we have this thing called the Instant Bid. When you click that, it takes you to a page where people can actually fill out something that looks very similar to what you saw before, asking for particular services. So maybe they want window cleaning and tile cleaning. They can give me their information. Of course, everything that's required here is truly going to be required. You can see that when I click continue. Unlike in the call screen where we were allowed to do bids without that, we don't give that information or that ability to a customer. Of course, you'll say what's required and what's not, and then the customer can fill it out. So that's one way, and then you can actually install it on this particular page. This page is dedicated to giving a bid, so we've installed that there. But we also have another thing called the Lightbox option, and the Lightbox option allows you to just install a button on every page of your website. This will be found throughout our whole website, and allow people to walk themselves through a quote just by simply going frame to frame as they're filling it out. So I'll just give you I'm not going to take you all the way through, but you can see how it's just another way of accomplishing the same task. But see how convenient, this takes up the whole page, but look how convenient. If I take you to the window cleaning page, you can see that I can just throw that button all over my website and really get people, as soon as they're interested in getting a quote, really cater to them right away. So that's really, really important. I think the last thing I'm going to show you is basically the customization. I know a lot of people have questions about customization. So under settings, we have the ability to go to the form builder, which is where we would go in and actually set up all of our service area cities and what information we're requiring. So in this case, we can say we require last name or we don't. We require an email. We might not even request it. Maybe we just won't even ask for an email address. And if that's the case, you could take that and it won't even show up. So you can totally customize what you're asking for. You can customize the house sizes that you ask for and even minimum pricing for those if you choose. You can use our little city search field and actually put in any zip code you want and radius, and it'll automatically find all those cities, and then you can set the minimums for those cities. You can put any trip charges that go along with those cities. Of course, we got a ton in here as an example. Sorry about that. And then you can also say where your leads are going to come from. So you can add different options and just put in any options that you would like to be able to track where people are coming from. And this is, again, just add an option and it's totally customizable. So click that, add option, type in whatever you want, and then save it. I'm not going to do that because I can't think off the top of my head what options I would use. Next thing is the pricing options. This is what a lot of people ask about. Am I going to be stuck to your pricing? No, not at all. You can set up if you use ladder pricing or not. You can tell ResponsiBid exactly what to charge. The pane surcharge, square footage surcharge, or no surcharge at all. What options are going to trigger a bid in person option. Keep in mind that any of these bid in person options, you can set it that way, and if somebody trips that on the website, for example, they won't get a price until you override it in their customer profile. So you can see here you can turn on and off different window styles, set certain window styles to trigger bids in person. Solar panel cleaning, here's kind of a nice interesting one. Solar panel cleaning allows you to price per panel or per kilowatt. There's lots and lots of different options in here, and you'll go in and you'll set it all up. All of these have tons and tons of options. You can see we put little tutorial videos about each and every one of these options throughout the application. And so you can set all of your prices to price exactly the way that you would want them to come out. Also, we allow the proposal builder. This is where you're going to set up basically all the fine print. So when you're looking at the proposal, there's fine print throughout, and depending on the kind of bid that goes through, we give you a bunch of boilerplate text, and then you have the ability to go and customize and save things as you choose, however you like. The package builder, this is where you spell out the different value propositions at each service level. So in the case of solar panel cleaning, you might say that basic package is where you just wash all the panels with hose and water. Deluxe is where you agitate, use pure spot-free water, and then premium is where you actually put a glass sealant on it. And you can change these to whatever you want. You can delete them. You can disable packages if you don't want to offer a certain package. Just save it and it's done. This package builder, once you have it set up with all your packages, then you would go into the pricing area I was just in and price accordingly for each service. For example, roof cleaning, this is where you do the actual roof cleaning. This is where you apply maybe a fungicide to the roof that will maybe give it some long-term benefits away and maybe even add a value-added service. So once you understand what all this does, then as you're pricing out your different packages, you'll be able to actually price against what value propositions you already said you would do. The blacklist, this is the ability for you to go in and actually set certain people who can't get quotes or turn it back on. So for example, if someone sends you a quote that you don't want to get quotes from anymore, so let's say this John Doe quote, I don't want to see that anymore. You can just click on here, blacklist the IP address, and now when you go into the blacklist, you can see that here's a bunch of stuff that we've blacklisted, and this one's actually, we can just delete it, and now that IP address is fine again. So that's the blacklist page. Follow-up builder, this is the kind of where the magic all happens. You'll be able to go in and create new statuses if you choose, just by clicking on this button here. And you'll also be able to go into the different types of statuses and customize how you're going to follow up with them. So how many days later, set the timers, set what time of the day you want it to go out, who it's going to come from, what the subject is going to say, and then you can customize your email to that person. So this is hugely beneficial. And then obviously once you're ready for it to go, you just enable it and click save. Now, cool thing is that I'm going to actually turn that off, and the reason is because I didn't truly customize it in a way that I want it to go out. But you can set up your scheduled, your closed, declined, and time them all to go out accordingly. So schedule this won't go out immediately, or maybe I want it to go out 2 days after, or so on. So follow-up builder takes some time to set it up, but we give you all the merge fields and everything is right in front of you. You can use customer personalized information inside of every follow-up and customize it exactly the way you want it to be. We offer a neat connections area, which will allow you to actually go in and connect to several different people, different CRMs. The nice thing about that is that it allows you the option to be able to make it so that when a bid's submitted, it will automatically import all of that information, or if you update a bid, it will automatically update your CRM. And of course, if your CRM is not listed there, just let us know and we can talk to your CRM and see if they'll let us build a connection to them. We give you the ability, this is how you would install it on your website. You just simply copy and then go into your website wherever you want it to go, hit paste, and it's done. It's really simple, and the powerful part about this is that it allows our software to be incredibly complicated and whatever to do all the smart things that it does, but we make it so that you don't have to put in thousands of lines of code to accomplish what's going on. So that's pretty neat. We do have an area for you to go to watch webinars. We have a help area. This is really, really helpful. If you ever have any questions about how you're going to get something done, you can ask a question here on our Q&A site, and just click that button and it'll take you there. When you go there, you'll need to set up an account, log it, create a question and answer account. And when you do that, you'll be able to ask questions, and we answer them within 24 business hours. So get your answer pretty quick. If you use Voxer, you can actually find us on Voxer. We have a blog. We have paid services. You can buy our professionals by the hour to just sit there and hover over with you for as many hours as you need to have someone helping you, or you can buy a 5-hour discounted block right there. We have all of our help videos here, and you can search for them just by simply typing it in and finding whatever video is going to help you with a specific item. So the help area is really, really nice. Your company profile is where you're going to customize, which users are going to use this and what access they'll have, what services you want available inside of your account. You're probably only going to use a few of these for your particular company. But once you take it away, it'll clean the application out of anything that doesn't relate to those services. So for example, if you don't offer window tinting, if you take that off, it'll take everything out of your application regarding window tinting. You'll be able to set up your company avatar and logo. You can set up when someone clicks that they want to book, you can customize what they'll see. If somebody's blacklisted and they get a proposal, you can customize what they'll see. And you can even do a little bit of notification emails customization, which is the email you'll get after a bid is complete that goes into your inbox. So that is the company profile, and then the administrator is basically where you're going to go in and update credit card information and so on. So there is a reporting section. The reporting section is awesome. It will tell you more stuff than the dashboard would, and it allows you to kind of go through and see how you're doing by the month and look at bid archives. You can use the search feature to just type someone's name in. I talked about John Doe. So there's John Doe. You just find it really, really quick, right on the fly from whatever page you're on. And then if you have just regular contacts, we have a neat contact search page that'll allow you to go in and actually, kind of like the call screen, you would just type in someone's last name, hit search, and it will find everybody with the last name Doe. And you can see we do a lot of testing in this account. You can also narrow it down by other things. And wonder if we have any EBSCon. Okay, so there's nobody in there like that. But you can see how that works. So when you import, and if you choose to import some of your contacts in via a CSV file that you exported out of one of your CRMs, as soon as you bring them in, it'll automatically populate them in, and then you'll be able to find them when you're looking for them on the call screen. So that way, if your import came in and you're looking for somebody who Sally, oh, we didn't have a Sally. I don't know why I got caps lock on. When you find somebody by the name of Sally, it'll, if that was an import, populate it in, it'll tell us what we know about them, and then you'll need to add the bid information since that probably wouldn't have come in because your CRM didn't have it. But it's really neat. It allows you to kind of morph kind of dumb data into really smart data and then automate the process of following up with them. So ResponsiBid has a few ways we want to make sure we make your money back. We want to make sure that we save you fuel, and that's going to be done by every technician being able to give quotes out in the field. Of course, that's going to save you time, being able to have people do it. And of course, if people can do it from their website, you're going to save both time and fuel as well. The perfect follow-up, we believe that we can save you every dollar that you would have spent on ResponsiBid just in closed jobs from being a good follow-up person. A lot of businesses just don't have time for the follow-up, and this is how we get around that, is by creating the automation of that. We believe we can save you the monthly fee of ResponsiBid every single month just in better advertising decisions as well. So we think that with the graphs and everything I showed you, we're going to be able to save you a ton of money and help you make better advertising decisions that will make you back your money. That perfect quote presentation, the need for a customer to not have to call a competitor in order to get a comparable rate or just to get some context to your pricing. We believe that non-salesy people can use ResponsiBid to give that quote and use the best format of a proposal, proven methods, so that you can get high close rates. And then, of course, having a website that sells. A lot of people's websites do what we call weeing all over themselves, and we want to help you to be able to create a website that not just says how great you are, we this, we that, but also allows the customer to interact like they would on, for example, Amazon.com, where we're in a new day and age where people expect to be able to get what they want off of a website. And when someone visits your website, learning about a service, one of the things that's most important to them is what it's going to cost them. And we have a guarantee. We guarantee that anybody who signs up with a premium package that uses ResponsiBid and makes sure to channel all their quotes through it, basically just uses it the proper way, we guarantee you that you will be getting a 2-to-1 ROI, or you just contact us and let us know, and we will credit you on a month-by-month basis until you are getting a 2-to-1 ROI. We're much more concerned about your success with ResponsiBid than we are in taking your money. We've built this tool as a service business owner. I built this tool specifically because of issues that I was having in my window cleaning and pressure washing and carpet cleaning company. So I specifically built this for the needs of other service-based businesses. And when I did that, there is an altruistic method to my madness, and that is that I'm trying to get people to be able to get their lives back, because I know what the life of an entrepreneur is and how the pain that it is to try and keep your life in order. So please remember this guarantee. We're more than willing to work with you in order to make sure that you're getting everything out of ResponsiBid that you possibly can. So that's everything I've got for you in this tour. Of course, this is a pretty heavy-duty tour as far as giving you all the information, but always feel free to reach out to us. All you have to do is contact us through our website and let us know if there's anything that we can answer for you or questions. And we're very anxious to help you in any way that we possibly can. So look forward to hearing from you.